Hello there. In this video, we're going to look at how you can use custom tests in an Equip assessment. A custom test in Equip is a test with your own questions instead of using Equip's questions, right? And so let's say this is your dashboard and you want to create an assessment. Say you're hiring a Python developer, a couple of years of experience. You go in and because you've selected Python developer, it will show Python as a relevant skill. Maybe you don't need this. And then you say, okay, let me create the tests. And when you come in here, you see there's Python, and you see that by default we have assigned 4 questions to the medium difficulty level. You can say I want maybe a couple of questions that are hard, and then you realize you're hiring for a data science kind of role, and you want to add a different skill. You want to add NumPy as a skill. Now, NumPy is a library that comes with Python, and this is mostly used by people in data science kind of roles. But you realize that Equip does not have this skill, right? And so if you don't have questions from Equip, what you could then do is maybe create a custom test. And when you go into custom tests, you will see the different test types that we have. There's a quiz, there's coding challenge, there's video response, question banks. So these are different test types in Equip. And so you can create custom tests with, for any of these test types. We're going to keep it simple. So we're going to create a simple quiz on NumPy, and I can add some questions. Let's say I add one question, right? So this is a question from NumPy, and some options here, maybe shape, dimensions, size, and then you know that this is the right answer. You could assign it some points, you could set some time here, right? And so then you save this. So you've now created your own test. The name of it is NumPy, it's in custom test. This test can now be added to any assessment, right? And it is available to you as well as all your teammates. And then you can come in here, and you know that NumPy is not there as a skill. So if you go in and say, okay, I want to add a quiz from my own content, not Equip's content, you don't see it here because you've just created the quiz. So you'll have to go back and go home and create assessment. Follow the same steps as earlier. So Python developer, couple of years of experience, and then you can say, okay, I don't want this, maybe I want to select tests. Now when you come to select tests, so there's a quiz, and then you say, okay, I want to add another quiz, I want to use my content, and this shows up. So it's NumPy, that's 1 minute, one question, and you add it, right? So now the candidate will see a quiz which has 4 questions from Equip's question bank, and then they will see a different quiz which has the question that you've added. From a candidate's perspective, there's no difference between the two. They will not be able to distinguish between questions from Equip's question bank and yours, right? They will just see them come as one quiz and then another, right? The other difference between Equip's content and yours is in proctoring. So if you go in here, you see that a programming test was also added. Let's say I don't want to look at the programming test. So the candidate will only see 2 quizzes, right? If you look at this icon, it says view proctoring settings, right? And if you look at this icon, it says edit proctoring settings. So if the content is Equip's, you will not be able to, if you look at this proctor settings, test using Equip's content, you cannot edit proctoring settings. So you will be able to see the different anti-cheating measures that this test has, but you will not be able to make any changes to this, right? Whereas if you go into the test that you created for NumPy, you can see the proctoring settings and you can also make changes to them, right? So if you're using your own content, you can control exactly what gets proctored. All right, and so you say, okay, go ahead, and then go next, and then you can add, create the assessment as you normally would, right? This, again, I just want to summarize and if you wanted to do this for a different test type, you can go into programming, and you can say, I want to add a programming test, and again, I can say either Equip's content or my content, right? So you can choose that here. So this is the create assessment part, and like I said, the candidate cannot distinguish between our content and your content, but there is another difference, and that comes in when you look at the results. Specifically when you look at results of the quiz. Okay, so this is an assessment called Senior Flask Developer, and we're looking at the quiz results for this, right? This is Equip's content, right? So this quiz had Jinja, Flask, Web Server as skills, and this candidate, you can see that of one question they attempted, they got 1 right. Flask, you will see 4 questions, they got 4 correct, and so on. But you cannot see the exact question that was asked, you cannot see the candidate's response. You will only know a skill wise and a skill difficulty wise breakdown of the candidate's performance if you're using Equip's content. If you're using your own content, so this is a custom test for the same role, right, for the same assessment. We've also added a custom test. In this case, because the questions are your own, you can see the question, you can see the answer, you'll see how much time they took, you can see the points that were awarded, and you can also make changes to the points that were awarded, right? So, and here you see these are more objective kind of questions, but you could also have a question that is more subjective, right? Conceptual understanding. So it's more sort of essay type kind of question. And even there, the candidate can, you can make changes to the points the candidate has been awarded, right? So this is another big difference between how the results are shown. I want to make it clear, the difference is only for quizzes. If you're looking at the results for a coding test, a video response test, whether you're using Eclipse content or your own custom content, you will see the question and you will see the response. Only for a quiz, when you create a quiz, so only for this test type, you will not be able to see if the questions came from say Python, from our question bank. You will not be able to see the questions. You will see the results in a summary form. So in summary of the video, Eclipse content makes it very easy to get started, so you don't have to create any questions. The only two, if you want, drawbacks are you can't control the proctoring settings and you can't see the questions that the candidate was asked. Thank you.